Welcome back to RITL Radio, your Commanders morning show, and we're talking Commanders. We're talking voluntary OTAs, which starts today. It's voluntary, so everybody ain't got to show up, right? Everybody ain't got to show up. Um. Mitch said Luke told him he's fully healthy for OTA, and Henry, no Henry, we're not doing that.
Tell Mitch to stay out the club. He meeting all these players at the club. Stay out the club, Mitch.
So most times players that don't show up is players that usually don't show up voluntarily doing their own thing. May got some photo shoots and all that other good stuff. They might want to go over to Japan and all those other different types of places. But usually it's players that, like you said, don't have any guaranteed money remaining. And we have a few players on 1-year deals coming this season. This season. And I'm just trying to figure out which one of these guys do you all think won't be there for voluntary OTAs, or if anybody won't be there for voluntary OTAs. Some of the players on 1-year deals, we have Luvu, we got Dorrance Armstrong, we got Deron Payne. I'm trying to think who else. Who else on 1-year deals? I'm trying to think. Outside of course, the players that we signed the 1-year deals this off season. But I think those three, right? I'm thinking those three. Who does not show up to OTAs? We can start with you.
Well, I heard, this is just me. I don't get all the great information. I did hear that there was a classic car event this week during OTAs. Deron Payne ain't gonna be there. Deron Payne ain't showing up, y'all. He ain't got no money, and he can go play with his classic cars. Nah, he done already done his workout.
There it is. Well, who you think, B?
You said Luvu, Payne, and what was the third name?
Dorrance.
I would say Payne wouldn't show up. I would expect Lawrence to come in, and it could be a part of the rehab situation. I expect Luvu to be there. But yeah, Payne, on the other hand, he could be out there hunting wild boar for all I know. Like, Unc said classic car, but yeah, he out there hunting and everything else on his IG. So who knows, man? But yeah, if I had to choose one out of the three, I would say Payne as well.
So, and I agree. Like, if I have to pick someone, I think it'll be him. And I think the difference is between. So let's talk about each one of those three, right? Because I don't think anyone else will not show because of. I'm trying to think. Like, I think everyone else would be there. I think Tunsil will be there. He ain't gonna do nothing, but I think he'll be there. He'll show up. He just got the deal. I'm just trying to think anybody else that won't show up. I think that's about it, unless they already had the baby been born, a wedding, or something like that. Outside of that, I think everyone else would be there. But let's separate the three. Let's talk about Armstrong. I think Armstrong will be there, like you said, be part of the rehab to see where he is in his recovery with the knee injury. Because I don't think we ever was told what the exact injury was. So just knee injury. So he'll be there, I think, to start that rehab process. And he still has a lot to prove, right? He still has a lot to prove. He put out a couple of workout videos, kind of remind y'all he was the best edge on this team last year. So I think he'll absolutely be there. And when it comes to Luvu has a lot to prove. Like, Luvu has a lot to prove, and I wouldn't think that this will probably be his last quote unquote big contract, or could be his last big contract. Not saying it's going to be a huge contract, but it could be his last one that's for multiple years. So I don't think he would want to go into contract talks for an extension if he believes what happened last year was not uh, um, what happened in 24 is more of who he is than what happened in 25. So if that's the case, I absolutely think he's going to try to channel 2024 this season to get a bigger deal in the off season. So I absolutely think he'll be here to kind of prove that last year was a fluke. What you think, B?
Yeah. Yeah, Dorrance, more rehab. Um, man, I thought we did find out his injury though, Deuce. I thought it was a torn ACL. It wasn't torn.
No, I don't think the team, Dan and them, ever said what it was. I think he just said knee injury.
Okay. So yeah, go and get that rehab, son. You know what I mean, stuff like that. Luvu, man, I think you just need to be there, like, what I mean, to lead the room. You know what I mean? I'm looking at Luvu as a leader this year on that defense. Go out there, see what Durante's asking of you. You know what I mean? Your first impressions, you know what I mean, is the best impression sometimes. Stuff like that. You know what I mean? You're not out there hitting nobody this week in these few practices. You're just basically going out there and getting the idea of the identity they want to set. And it starts today. I would love to have 100% participation, Deuce. I would love it. You know what I mean? We had in 24, we had 100% participation at this point with the guys we had signed coming into that season. Everyone showed up. I remember those reports. So I would love to have it, man. But Deron Payne, on the other hand, they go to no guaranteed money left on the deal. So why go out there and risk injury?
Yep.
You know what I mean? And that's what it's about with him. So I'm cool. You know what I mean? If we only get 85%, you know what I mean? If we only get 85%, you know what I mean? Maybe these guys had planned stuff, but I try to understand, like, you already know the schedule, but you want to plan a vacation or whatever it is around this time. Yeah, I see what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So to me, there are no excuses why it shouldn't be 100% unless you don't have that guarantee. So.
But one thing that you hinted at, but you didn't bring up fully, Smoke, is that we got 2 new coordinators. Guys gonna be hungry to figure out so they can compete too. So that's the thing. That's the other thing that I think is going to drive participation higher than it may normally. Some of those guys that you name would want to be there to kind of see, all right, what is it that we're doing? I know I seen it on the playbook or whatever on paper, but what is it going to look like on the field? And they get their first chance to kind of see that as we move in.
Slight breaking news: Francis Maanoga has a herniated disc.
They still reported that a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I don't know. I just saw it on the time. They say he's still projected to be the first tackle off the board, but yeah, it's just coming out like he has a herniated disc.
These people, man. This is nasty, man. The way they work these boards leading up to the draft, nasty, man. Nasty. But yeah, it's gonna be very important for those guys to be there because this is, and Blau needs these guys there. Like, I think doing something on your time, it means more than doing something when you're expected to do it. Right? Like, I don't have to do this. And everyone knows that. Right? You can't be penalized for it. You shouldn't be talked down about it. This, and that, right? Like, the NFL is has a long, grueling what is it? 8 months, something like that. In this sport, right? So it's voluntary. You don't have to be there, right? You're probably not going to do a lot, sit in a couple meetings, take some measurements, maybe some pictures or whatever the case may be, right? So it's not like you're going to be missing too much. But when you have new coordinators You have new position coaches. And you got Dan Quinn has been preaching to all these new cats about brotherhood. Like I'm sure he's been preaching to these new coaches and these new players about the brotherhood and the culture they've established and this and that. And what is your like? Is your culture based on because what Shakam say? I ain't gonna say his name. He probably listed. Is it what was it? Oh man, what was the love drink beat? I can't think of it. Transactional.
Oh yeah,
Transactional.
Is this brotherhood transactional or is this brotherhood pure? And to way to show that it's pure is to do something when you're not actually required to do that, and that's showing up today for voluntary OTAs. For the Ron Payne, like bro, you got a monster D-line coach. You got a monster D-line coach, right? And you want to be there to show him that, hey, look, this is my D-line. I'm here, right? But I don't know. I hope he shows. I think he'll show. Even when he had his contract dispute the first time, he was still there, right? He did it. What do they call it? In camp holdout or whatever holdout. So I absolutely think we'll be at 100% unless
I got one guy that got paid that ain't gonna show up.
There it is. Who?
Thompson.
You don't think he's gonna show up? I think he's showing up.
He'll never show up to this type of stuff.
No, he was there last year
for OTAs.
Yeah. He ain't do nothing, but he was there voluntary.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. He ain't got to be out there world beating, but he the one who done. He the one who done brought these guys together. He gonna be there to show that leadership.
And he wasn't doing nothing, B. Like he was walking around, right? Like he wasn't practicing or nothing like that. But yeah, he was there because that was a big thing with the Texans fans was telling us that he wasn't going to show up, and he did. And then he just got paid, right? So we'll see. If he's not there, I'll be surprised by that. If he's not there, but we'll see, man. But outside of that, I just don't see. I think we'll be at 100%, unless it's like a baby being born or something like that. Outside of that, I think we'll be good.